Two of the most talked about names on YouTube right now, Dan Koe and Iman Gadzhi, have completely opposite strategies when it comes to growing an audience and making money. One focuses on deep thinking, slow, organic growth. The other is all about high energy, viral content, and aggressive scaling. But which strategy actually works best? And most importantly, which one should you use? In this video, I'm breaking down the exact differences between Dan Koe's and Iman Gadzhi's YouTube strategies. I'll show you how they create content, how they monetize their audiences, and how they've built personal brands in completely different ways. But here's the best part, I'm not just going to compare them. I'm going to show you how you can combine the best of both strategies to build a YouTube channel that grows and makes money. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which strategy fits your business and whether you should be thinking long-term like Dan or scaling fast like Iman. So let's get into it. All right, let's dive into the core differences in strategy between Dan and Iman. And I'm going to keep this video pretty brief. I'm going to dive right into the differences. I'm going to get straight to the point here. Dan's style is very tailored into being long form, having deep discussions with his ICP. ICP means ideal client prospect, so who he's targeting in his content. And it's a very minimalist design. So he grew his channel just through slow, organic content with the purpose of building authority over time. He wasn't necessarily trying to post one video and go viral right away. Wasn't too worried about getting a bunch of clicks. He wanted to post good content that he knew would establish his brand over time. And if you know anything about Dan, you know that he preaches to build an audience and then create a product or a service that serves the audience you just built. So his positioning on this is to build an audience and then monetize it through digital products, coaching. And his messaging in his content is really philosophy driven. It appeals to self-improvement seekers, and he positions his brand as being a thought leader and, having expertise-based marketing and creating longevity with his content. If we take a look at the content that he posted here that I'm using as an example, you can look at it and sort of tell that he's focusing on targeting solopreneurs or anyone who's trying to build that personal brand or just, have some self-improvement in general. You can see that's his target ICP, and none of it is really clickbait. All of these videos are damn near 30 minutes. This one's over an hour. So he's putting in a lot of time and effort into creating good content that he knows is going to build his authority over time. He doesn't really care about going viral with each video. Now, on the other hand, we have Iman, who has a complete opposite style. It's all high energy with him. It's very direct, and his content is based on being high status. So he grew his YouTube through having a clickbait style, going viral, and appealing to the masses. And that's how he monetized off of his YouTube growth, which he sold courses, high ticket coaching, and he ran paid ads to get more eyeballs to his channel. So his purpose really was to get a whole bunch of eyeballs to him. He didn't really want to take a while to build that up over time. He was just going viral to get as many views as possible. And his messaging is, that hustle culture, getting financial freedom. And he positions his brand by being sort of, influencer style, social proof heavy, and high scarcity. Now, if we take a look at his content, you can see it's completely different from Dan's, where all of these videos are getting millions of views because it's positioned to go viral. Like, I let Hasbullah drive my Porsche GT3, or any young man can make 1 million if they learn this. It's very broad content. Like, you can tell his ICP are, young men, probably like 16 to 24. That's what he's targeting, but that's a huge range of people. It's not tailored to a specific business. It's just to young men who want to make money. And the type of content he creates attracts attention from young men all over the world. And you'll see right here, 3 habits that made me a millionaire by 18. So he's really trying to hone in on that younger male audience. But even though Dan and Iman couldn't be more different in their approach, let's talk about their commonalities. They're both using YouTube as their main growth engine. So even though it's 2 different approaches, they're still both leveraging YouTube. So there's a lesson there. YouTube is gold standard, and you should be using it as a business owner. They're both leveraging authority and positioning to sell high value products. They both focus on personal brand growth to attract their leads, and they both monetize through selling digital offers, coaching programs, courses. And both these strategies do work, but are heavily dependent on the type of audience you are targeting. So let's talk about which strategy would work best for you. So Dan's strategy would work best for more of like the solopreneurs anyone who has a newsletter they want to get a lot of opt-ins for, they have any online courses, any digital products, and they want to leverage long form content to build their personal brand. And they're okay with taking longer because they know that over time they're going to build a bunch of trust. They're going to grow their personal brand that way, and it's going to be a sustainable income because they grew an audience that trusts them, and now they can develop more products tailored to their audience. And if you enjoy deep thinking, writing, and intellectual content, you should focus on Dan Koh's strategy because over time, it's going to position you to have longevity in your market. But if you take Iman's approach, you might have an SMMA, agency business, high ticket coaching and consulting where you're trying to attract people to your page as fast as possible. You're trying to go viral. And I see this a lot in the info space. People take Iman's approach because they're leading with clickbait titles of how I moved to Miami and started driving a Lamborghini at 20 years old with my X whatever service. So they're taking Iman's approach because they know that's going to attract a bunch of younger men who are looking to make a lot of money, and that's how they can sell their coaching business. And this is where you really want to leverage that social proof to go viral and with those clickbaity titles and thumbnails. And that's going to lead to fast growth because you're getting a lot of attention and you're getting people to believe that if they buy your coaching service, they'll get X result. But the difference with this is, yes, you're going to get a lot of attention, a lot of eyeballs, but a lot of these people aren't going to know, like, and trust you as much as they would if you took a long-term vision approach to create long-form content and really help out your target audience. If you're just creating content like this, we're in a space where there are a bunch of gurus and grifters who are kind of burning the marketplace. And it's going to be hard to build trust if you're just leading with a lot of this flashy style content. But if you take the time to make more long form content, get people to trust and like you more, you're going to have more longevity this way, but you will get faster sales if you take Iman's approach. But there is a way you can get the best of both worlds, and that's by combining both strategies. So we have our content funnel here. The top of your content funnel is where you want to get as many eyeballs as possible. That's where you're going to leverage Iman's approach of trying to go viral with those titles, those thumbnails. Now, the middle funnel here, this is where you want to focus on solving problems for your target audience. So if you are a coach in a space or you have an agency that really solves a specific problem for whoever your ICP is, this is where you want to leverage Dan Koh's approach of creating step-by-step tutorials, more long-form content, any non-student case studies that go in depth of how you specifically solve your ICP's problems. You don't want to gatekeep anything right here. You want to show that you actually are an expert, and that's going to help you build an audience that trusts you and gives you more longevity in your marketplace. And then at the bottom of your funnel here, this is where you build the most trust and convert. And this is where you leverage case studies, interviews, personal stories, or podcasts. And I say take Iman Gadzhi's approach here because you want your thumbnail and title to garner a lot of attention. But Dan Koh does the same thing. He has case studies on his channel, but you're more likely to get attention from your ICP if you take Iman's approach here. Now, to sum that up, you want to post high value evergreen videos that educate your ICP, use click-worthy titles and thumbnails, add high energy editing to your hooks, and create a mix of top of funnel and middle of funnel content. And that's how you can properly combine both strategies to get the best of both worlds. And before you do that, like this video, then subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.